If you're trying to manifest a dream goal, then you better stick around and listen to this video because I've got some very important advice on something you mustn't do when you're trying to manifest your dream. Hello, I'm Elizabeth Hackford, I'm the Law of Attraction Lady. Thanks for tuning into my video. A lot of the time when I talk about manifesting, I say that you should fake it until you make it and get into the imagination of that dream already manifested and act as if it has already happened. Now, what you mustn't do if you are acting as if your dream is already manifested is actually start spending money like your dream has already manifested. So, for example, if you go into a 5-star hotel, just buy yourself a coffee, spend $25, sit in the lobby room, and that's fine. But don't go and buy a 6-course meal and a glass of champagne. The trick is that you've just got to imagine that you can do all those things and stay in the imagination. And if it helps you to go into the lobby of a 5-star hotel to help build that picture, that's great. But don't buy anything more than a cup of coffee or even just sit there and have a glass of water if you can. So it's about getting into the feeling and imagining it up here. You mustn't start to act as if you've got the money. You can act as if you're that person. That means feeling good and feeling happy and feeling confident and feeling abundant. But it doesn't mean that you open up your wallet and start spending money on things you can't afford. Another example is that to get into the imagination of living in a millionaire mansion, we'll actually make an appointment with an estate agent to go and look at some properties that maybe you can't afford today, but you can in your imagination, and go and look around at these properties and admire them and enjoy feeling that that's already yours, and it will give you a very visual feeling and sensation of what a millionaire mansion is like. But don't then go and make an offer on the mansion if you haven't already built that $1 million in your bank account. So around about the time I was trying to manifest success in my film magazine, I actually started to visit some estate agents and ask them to show me around some of these extremely expensive $2 or $3 million properties, just to see what it felt like to be inside these properties. And in actual fact, the estate agent had no problem at all with showing me these places, and she was very excited. She thought I was a real eligible customer, and I was going to be one day. That was my plan. So no harm in building a relationship with an estate agent, and it wasn't necessarily a complete waste of her time. Who knows what was around the corner? And she showed me these places willingly, and I really got into the feeling of living in a millionaire flat or apartment in central London. It was quite interesting because this estate agent treated me with so much respect because she thought I was this multimillionaire, and in actual fact I was just faking it. And of course it didn't cost me any money to do this, so you can do that. I don't necessarily advise taking up estate agents' time, but it does help a little bit going into hotels or going into properties or even going to department stores, home stores, where there's a dream kitchen there with an island for your cooking. You can do all of that, but what you mustn't do is start buying these things until you've got the money. And another thing is, if you do start spending money on things as if you're already a millionaire when you're not, then what you will do is you'll be accentuating, you'll be reinforcing to yourself that you can't afford that yet. So just keep your wallet out of it. Keep your wallet in your pocket. Just imagine that you can afford to buy those things, but today you're not going to. Imagine that you can sit in that hotel and have the 5-course meal whenever you want, but don't actually spend the money and do it. Imagine that you're living in that property that the estate agent has just showed you, but don't make an offer on the property thinking your money is going to manifest tomorrow, because that will create tremendous resistance, because you'll build up this desperation for that money to come through. So when I talk about getting into the imagination and faking it until you make it, what this really means is just keep it all up there in your imagination. When you walk into your tiny pokey kitchen, pretend in your imagination that it's your dream kitchen and just feel how good it is walking into your kitchen where there's all this space. That's the key. And the more you get into that imagination and have that feeling, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you will slowly attract it to you through opportunities that come to you from the universe, and your subconscious will motivate you to take the action that's required to get there. But that doesn't mean opening up your wallet and spending money on things when you haven't got the money.
I want